So what we're doing next is we are setting up the formative practice for adding color to our mandalas. The tools that we are going to be using today are Sharpie markers. To start, you're going to need a black ultra-fine tip Sharpie, a ruler, and this long strip that has already been pre-measured. This is the same paper that your summative mandala is going onto. And the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to line up the edge of your ruler with the edge of your paper. And you're just going to draw a vertical line. And continue drawing vertical lines all the way down your page. Now your last column is a little bit narrower, and for your summative mandala you need to have at least 8 patterns represented. And I want you to practice your color schemes for each of those before you apply them to your summative. So for this one I'm going to label it number 8, meaning it is pattern number 8. And then I am going to draw a section for each of my different patterns. Now I want to divide this section in half, and then I will label that number 7. And then number 6. I'll divide this section to create number 4 and number 5. I'll divide this section to create 3 and 2, and then this last column I'll divide and leave it for number 1. And then I'll just draw a horizontal line to separate that. Okay, this narrow column I'm just going to leave blank, and so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide columns. In this very first column, I am just going to label with my name. My Sharpie is dying. And this will be turned in later this week for some formative points. And these 4 columns I'm going to divide into 6 different rows, giving me a total of 24 sections, because I should have 24 colors in my bag of Sharpies. So I'm going to use my finger as a way to measure how low that first column or that first row should be, and then use my finger again for the second row, and my last row. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So I have a total of 24 rectangles. This row will end up being empty. Next, you want to take out your Sharpies. And I would put them in color families. And so what that means is I will take all of the reds and put all of the reds together. Then I will organize all of the oranges, yellows and greens, blues, violets, and then your neutrals. Okay, And then in each of those rectangles, you'll want to start practicing those color families so that you know what each color looks like on our summative paper. Then you're going to decide, based on your patterns, how many colors you will need for your first pattern. Let's say, for instance, if your first pattern will need 4 different colors, then choose those 4 colors and practice them in that column. And then this will tell you what your color scheme is for your first pattern. And then you'll continue until you have done that for all 8 of your patterns. You should have at least 2 colors for each pattern. Some of your patterns might require that you leave some white areas, and that's okay too.